You'll have to see. You'll have to see about that, Matthew, because if you moved things around and named things differently, uh, and you try to re-import, if your stuff is baking, then it didn't rename things too much. Okay. If your stuff baked, then it understood the match by mesh name thing. If you're not using the match by mesh name thing, then your names don't matter. You should be using the match by mesh name thing though. If okay, yeah. Just check your stuff though. Like check your AO map. If you have like grays, if you have just like filled in gray areas, then it may not have baked. This is just the safe way of doing things. Yeah, you definitely want to lose groups. It's better for you to control things with just your layers. But if you did combine things together and then uncombine them and stuff like that, then you may have some groups still there. All right, this is my low mesh. We're going to export this guy out. Oh boy. Find my project here. Okay, everything that I want is checked. For that, so that was my low, and now my high is coming out. Export selection, high. Everything's been smoothed. I hope it was. Okay. Bye, Maya. Hello, Substance Painter. Okay, so, no, I don't want to open an old one. Let's make a new file. Select my game res. (1024), I don't care. Normal map, we're using DirectX. Compute tangent space per fragment, very important. That's going to change my model up. So that the model looks good, and it is adapted for the engines that we send it to. Okay, so we want Substance Painter having control over tangents and binormals for us. We only have one material, that's good. I also needed to check that too, that the game res only has one material. I'm going to go to Bake Mesh Maps. Let's start off with the normal map, 1024. It's a good start. Put my high res in there. I like to go up a little bit. I think with that with the weaving on the handle, that's the highest you should probably be going though. Anti-aliasing no, match by mesh name. And remember, I named my stuff HI and LO. That's the suffix we want to look for here. Get our bacon with our normals, done and done. All right, so there's a high res showing up on my model. Looking for errors. Getting some fast results. Okay, so it looks like envelope's pretty big for some of these areas. I'm getting stuff just way too tight and a lot of this going on here. I think in the proportion of the model, I may not be able to do the 1.015. I may need to change that up. Because I do think I want to have this shape have a normal map. I don't want to mask that out yet. Let's try dropping this back down. Okay. Yeah, I'm not baking AO yet. This is just my normal map. The point of document size is really just this. This is just what it's putting it to by default. That's really it. When you export your model, oh, you're AO. Okay, yeah, you're AO. Okay, good. The point of document size, though, is really just what we're displaying on by default here. Okay, so I think that's really it. Once you export, it may try to find that same document size and say, hey, do you want to export at 1024? And you just say, no, I want you to export at 4K resolution. But these tight little crevices are doing me a number in here. So I may need to drop my envelope size significantly, see if it doesn't mess with my wrapping. And I may need to set this guy up for an individual bake as well. Okay. We'll see what happens. Because if I can't drop this envelope size down, let's do like a 0.07 maybe. 007. Yeah. Not really changing much. Now this was the one shape that was offset a little bit though. Let me look at mine here. Maybe I still have some transforms or something. This was the one shape that did have some minor issues. I am branching off a little bit, I suppose. I think I may need to scale us in a little bit more. I'm not sure anymore, honestly. There's a subtle... There's some minor deviation there. I don't think that should be enough to really cause this kind of stuff to happen, though. I really want this kind of edge quality here. Can we lose the brush, please? Jeez, the thing's just like blinding me. So let me do some thinking here. Because my major issues are happening out here. I wonder what would happen if I just masked off the interior rings. I wonder what would occur. So let me try something here. We're gonna go up a little bit higher. I'm not getting any baking errors yet though, right? Everything still seems to be baking in here. I don't know, maybe I could just reduce... Let me keep reducing my envelope size before I start getting some errors in here. See if we get something. .005. All right, let's go for gold here. I'm gonna drop it down to the bare mins. Reach really low. See, we're losing it now. Our envelope size is going down. I'm not seeing any issues with the wrapping though. It still seems pretty close. I think that was it. It's just my envelope size. I've never dropped it down that low. I think the proportions of this model, though, are really kind of throwing things off. I'm seeing some mild things happening in here. Overall, though, it's not too bad. I'm getting a little bit of a cornering on this shape here. I'm a little bit low on that, truthfully. But you know what? This shape right here, I said, you know, game res might just need to be game res for that. That's all it really needs to be. Doesn't need to do much. Okay. I'm curious if I can go even lower. This is just, I'm getting dramatic now. Okay. Not looking so pretty over here anymore. Yeah, I don't like that. I'm gonna go back to 0.003. Let's go for a higher bake now, higher res. More things will be visible from here. Put a little bit of anti-aliasing in there too. Let's go to town. Okay. Why do you have to be so big? Thank you. Okay. Getting some seams in here. What is going on? Do I have hard edges in here or something? Probably just, oh. Jeez, what the heck? Why did I have hard edges in there? Alright, I'm gonna have to re-import this thing anyways. I'm gonna give this guy. Why do I have transforms in here? Dude, I thought I froze transforms. Freeze them. Okay, now I'm starting to get angry. Freeze all transforms. Delete all history. Save all women and children first. I don't think I had any hard edges on this model. So I'm just gonna grab the whole thing and soften it out. I'm gonna take these guys and just smooth them. One division, just for the time being here. Smooth it up. Hope I didn't cause too much wreckage on my UVs. We'll check that out real quick. Yeah, we're still looking good. Okay, so, but really, just selecting that, I'm gonna delete it. Select this guy and delete it. I just wanted some more geometry coming this way, and I think that's what I got. Here, let me isolate these guys actually. There. I don't know why you were so confused by that operation. Okay. I don't mind that little guy in there. Deleting some unnecessary edge loops. Don't really need them. All I really wanted was a bevel and a little bit more shape for my game res. And truthfully, I could just delete all these guys, but I won't. Just leave it there. Who cares? Since it's kind of stabbing out on the sides, I don't want to risk any of that stuff. So delete history here. Probably don't have to soften any of those edges. Let's export this. Let's export this guy out again. Now, if you want to replace your low res into an already existing scene, I'll show you how to do that right now. Let me just export my high res too, just in case. You never know. You're thinking so hard, Maya. Thank you. Okay, so this is how we replace our model in Substance Painter. I'm going to come over here to Edit, Project Configuration. And I'm just going to select a new game res. Like that. I'm going to hit OK. And that just replaced my model now. You can kind of see, yeah, it messed some things up, right? Are my UVs that bad? Wait a minute. I need to see something here. Hold up. Find the shape. Whoa. What have you done? What have you done? That's not my shape. Oh god, the high res. Get it out of here. Okay, so maybe me deleting some of those edges messed some of that up. Yep, that put a new seam there. Son of a bee. Why? Why would it do that? Can I not undo any more of that? Are you serious? I saved it. I saved the model. I'm just gonna open the scene again. I don't feel like sitting here and re-UVing these shapes. Okay, so smooth was garbage. That didn't help me out a lot. So what I'm gonna do here, instead of me just smoothing this shape out, which would have been nice, I wonder if I can just add some edge loops and it kind of does the UVs for me. We'll see. Where did that guy go? Checker? I got a checker. Checker's too big. But you know what? Okay, whatever. I'm gonna add some edge loops in here. Just holding shift. Round some of this stuff out. Do another unfold. My straight shape should be fine. I think it's just like my side shape over here that that'll have to unfold again. Just get some more edge loops in here, holding shift. I don't like how faceted the shape is, so we're gonna just add a little bit more. The sides are okay. Don't need to really worry about that. But yeah, you see some zigzagging there. Gonna have to unfold that guy again, probably. That's okay. That shouldn't mess things up any. La la la, la la la, la la. And I think I saved my file before I exported the first time, but not this last time. So yeah, what did I do to fix this model last time though? Make sure I review that information and do that again. I had some transforms, I know. Cool, so let me just unfold my shapes here. This music is weird. Cool. Okay, UVs are golden. Bye-bye UV toolkit. I remember I needed to soften my edges. I need to delete all history, freeze transformation. Okay. Soften edges, once again. I got a crappy memory. Cool. Center pivot, maybe? I feel like I'm missing something still. Okay, we'll find out if it happens. If it happens. Did I have groups too? Wait, yeah, still got groups. Oh my goodness, I just gotta like hand. That's probably where my unfrozen transformations went though. They were in there, hiding from me. Okay. Everything's named the right way still. Good. Export selection. Go baby go. And these guys, freeze transformation, delete history, center pivot, all that good stuff there. Export selection, Katana high. Third time's charm. It never is, but you never know. Bring my new low back in. No funky stuff in there. It's a good sign. But with my new topology, it's kind of weakening out on those UVs, so I'll have to rebake that again. All right, let's rebake that normal map. See what we get. Let me replace my high res just in case that changed a little bit. Do a little replacement there for the sake of things. Bake it out. Okay, why am I getting this-ish? Oh dear. Still. Okay. That's probably going to be a game res detail. If the bake just looks like garbage there, I'm not going to care. This guy may also do the same thing. I don't know why I'm getting that sharp seam there. Okay. Now here's something that's also happening though, okay? I baked at 2048, right? But remember, there's something else that I didn't do here. And right now, I'm suffering for that. 1024 is all that I'm looking at it with. So go to 2048, and there we go. Now we're seeing that 2048 resolution now, because I was looking at a 2048 map with only 1024 resolution in my previewer. So that's pretty much what the document size is there, though. It's telling me what I'm looking at, okay? All right, so we're not looking too bad anymore. We're looking a lot cleaner. So let's suffer ourselves through that last bake. 4096. Subsampling 4x4. And bake it out. Once again, I'm only going to be seeing 4K. I'm going to have a 4K bake here, but it's only going to be baking, and I'm only going to be able to see 2K resolution while I'm in 2K mode. Yes, yeah, that's what document resolution is just the viewport, basically. I got my little seams here. Still don't know what happened to that. Don't know why I'm getting that. But who cares? This guy can just be game res, and I can just seal the deal on that one. A cylinder's a cylinder. No way to improve that. This cleaned up a little bit. But yeah, once again, like right now, still, I'm only seeing things in 2K resolution. Go up to 4K, and now I'm seeing things at 4K resolution. So now that I know, hey, okay, 4K, looking good. Once again, this is all geometry. Normal map getting baked in there, looking pretty hot. Smoking. Don't stay in 4K though. That's gonna make your workflow very slow. 2048 the max. Only go into 4K if you like really need to work in 4K. Probably for like for projecting 4K details onto the model. If you have like a texture projection, if you're doing like a stamp or a stencil, you want 4K resolution up so that you're stenciling 4K information from a 4K image. So that's the case there for that. All right, so my normal map is done. So let's check that off. Let's save ourselves some time with that. I'm gonna go up to 2048. I'm feeling confident here. Let's see what the 2048 AO looks like on my model. .2048 with 2x2 subsampling on the anti-aliasing. Now the AO map is a longer bake, so you're going to be waiting a little bit here with that. So let's take a look. I'm going to hit B and just go to my baked maps. There we go. Let's see what this 2048's given me. Am I getting any errors on this model is basically what I'm going to be looking for here. This looks like a nasty little seam over here. Why? What are you doing to me? Then maybe my stuff hanging over the edges. Probably not going to be too noticeable though. It's a tiny little smudge on my model. Okay. Overall, I'm fairly content with what's happening. Ooh, seam. don't think there's any avoiding some of this stuff though. It's gonna happen. Okay. But I need to have this thing in 4K resolution, so that's what I'm gonna do. I apologize for the wait time here. Feel free to go get a bathroom break in. At least I got some results, right? I need to see those results before I really invest my time here in baking this stuff out. Once this guy's baked and he's looking good and you're not getting any errors, then we don't have to bake that AO map anymore, okay? We don't have to bake these maps in. We've baked one UV probably right now. Okay, so this is the grueling part, is kind of waiting for this to go through. And then afterwards, we're going to have to bake our additional maps that are going to make our model cleaner, or make the procedural work happen. Okay, so I'm going to have to bake curvature map. I have an ID map for this model so that it's easier for me to paint my weave on here. So curvature map though, thickness map, world space, normals, position map, and cavity kind of information. So we have those maps that we're going to have to bake too, and those are going to be procedural. But those are the maps that those stay inside Substance Painter. They never leave. The AO and normal map do come along for the ride though. Excuse me. But yeah, those other maps stick around unless you want them to come out. You know, if you've seen me probably working on my character, and I use my curvature map and my AO map together to start working on an inking layer. You know, you can export that stuff out if it's useful and necessary for you. A thickness map would be a good map to export out if you're doing subsurface scattering on your character. Okay, if you want to know where your thick and thin areas are on that character, you export a thickness map out, and it will apply subsurface scattering thickness to your character, where you're going to be able to see light shining through the skin on the thinner parts of your character's model, kind of thing. That's also a pretty cool feature there. Or you can use that thickness map for your own purposes here in Substance Painter. You know, maybe you want to use the thickness map to put more blues for like the veins of your character, for like the meat and the bone. You set up these different layers where we're using different thickness. You're going to get more of a brownish tone on the outside where we're getting the fat stuff, and then we're going to get bone, more of a yellow tint, blue for the eyes. You know, they can kind of see those surfaces, and how that thickness changes is going to give us a different color and a hue that's going to support that kind of skin type for that area. That's what these maps are doing. They're baking this stuff out so that you know, and the engine knows where to put these details. I wish it actually gave you a progress bar for AO map. I mean, for all these maps. It really just has one map at a time. Yes, this is Full Sail laptop, the finest. Oh, I wish I had a PC. I'm very cheap. I'm very cheap. Yes, this is why. If Full Sail actually gave me a PC, then I would use that. But they're working on it. They're working on getting on doing laptops, window laptops. But yeah, it gives me time to kind of explain this stuff though too, in a sense. We have machines on campus too. So usually students move over to the machines around this point when they're tired of waiting for their AO map to bake. They'll move over to the PC machines in the labs. For baking and for iRay, yep, that's what we're doing. Okay, so it looks like the heavy stuff has been done so far. I think it's just thinking about this, the inside of the handle now. We'll see what comes of it. Excuse me. But it will be a nice feeling to be done with Maya and to fully just be in like Substance Painter. Once again, I think it would have been cooler. It would have been cooler to have to be doing like a cooler pummel at the end of the blade, at the end of the handle. I don't want to drag this out too much more though. Getting the bare essentials in, okay, we're done. Any student who wants to do any more to this blade, if they're following along through the tutorial, then they can put their own kind of story element into what happens over here on the pummel. Okay, but that's my bake. It looks pretty clean. I don't have a lot of that noisiness there because of that 4K render. Still a little bit of action coming in these tight little areas, but not anything I'm really going to fret over. If there's any details there that generate, then I'll just have to kind of mask them out basically. Okay, so there's that. I don't really feel like going through that right now though. Such a minimal area. When we look at the grand scheme of this thing, people may not get much closer than this right here because it's such a long asset. So now I'm gonna turn this AO off. 2048. Let's get ID map done so we can see that once again. 2048 might be able to get the job done. Jeez. I wonder, let's see what this looks like. 4K subsampling. We want this to be a nice sharp mask. Let's see what it gets us. Doing, doing, doing. I don't know how much resolution really it depends on for ID. It's not really a long bake though, really. So, it's not shoot and raise edit or anything. Okay. Cool beans there. Probably shouldn't have painted this thing blue. But since it's its own model, I should be able to mask it out pretty easily. Okay, and then the rest of these maps, world space, curvature, position, thickness, get those guys in there too. Those should go pretty quick as well. World space is done. Here's my curvature map coming in. That's where my edge wear is coming from, basically. Position map, that's going to help me control lighting. And thickness map is, once again, just going to help me find areas of variation there. And how thick the model is proportionally. No, if this sword was like plastic, then I would be able to put a subsurface on this thing that would let me see through certain areas a little bit more than other areas as far as the glow of a translucent kind of item. And as soon as this map bakes, we'll do that font tutorial for you here. I wanted to at least get to like a milestone 2 stage today. Since I'm only working on with Zoom lectures with you guys, I'm not doing the full length of work time. I didn't think thickness would be this crazy. Is it going to give me anything besides black? I think the length of this blade is just like the length of the whole item is really throwing off the proportions of this thing. Thickness may not have really even be necessary. It's really there's certain generators that it's useful for. I don't know if it's really going to help out with this model too much though. I'm just going to let it go. You never know. You never know what you're going to do these things. I have like a patience countdown right now going on in my head where I'm starting to lose it. It's getting something in here. If this thing was just giving me black, then I could kill this thing off. But I don't think it is. I think it's giving me a little bit of something. It doesn't like that some of these shapes are probably hollow though too, so that's also a thing. Well, I mean, while I'm here talking to you, Matt, though, is there any other demonstration that you want for Substance Painter besides just the font? Pretty good with the rest? Okay. Things will come up. It'll happen. This thing's taken quite a while, though. I didn't think thickness is this involved. But at this point, I usually walk away from the render and kind of do my own thing for a little bit and come back, you know, grab a snack or something. Okay. Yeah, definitely make sure that you get some feedback from your peers. It's gonna be pretty useful there. You never know what they're gonna say. You sit here and stare at these things for so long, and then someone comes around just like, hey, did you notice this, this, and this? Just like, oh my goodness. You done did it. Micro detail? What are you doing micro details with? Yeah, you won't have to do a micro detail on that though. I would say micro details are something that you need to do for masks or for a generator that's giving you a special area that you need to try to get like cavities and things. That's really what micro details are for with anchor points. But what I encourage you to do is, don't, like when we're doing text, we're going to be using a fill layer with we're going to use a fill layer for that text, and we're just going to paint into the mask, okay? Now, if you have special details that you want to put in there that are different than what the mask actually has specifically, then you can copy that mask into another layer and just kind of blur it and kind of shrink it down a little bit. That way, like, if I'm putting font on my letters here, but I want like a little bit of a gradient inside those letters and just for it to be a little bit tighter inside of those letters for me to put like paint in there. The letters themselves could be height that turn into normals basically. But you just want there to be a slightly different mask there. That's what you do basically, is you just copy the mask over, because that's the information you need. Just copy that mask and tweak the mask a little bit. Yeah, it's not so much, the one situation where I've needed to use micro details was when I put like a filter on my model. If I do like a raw metal filter where I'm getting like these cavities, these pits and cavities that are like corroded into metal, I have no way of really like isolating. I might be able to dig in deep there and find some way to isolate some of that normal stuff, but it's just easier for me to grab that normal map and those details and try to reuse that information from that map specifically than trying to grab the maps themselves, because some of that stuff is kind of built into the application, and it's not like a special map that comes with it kind of thing. Same thing with, I mean, maybe particles too, I'm not sure. But, if you're using anchor points, is going to be more of a blending of multiple layers and effects that you don't have a lot of control over. But if you're painting a mask on things, then you pretty much have control over that, so. Yeah. Definitely make sure that you're working smart, not hard. I mean, I'm all for you guys trying to figure out how to use anchor points. I think it's pretty good. It's a good, useful technique. I might even use it for this model. I don't know. But that's pretty much just for practical applications. Painting, yeah. The hard part should be behind you. For milestone 3 and on, that's the fun stuff. That's when you guys really start to see your modeling, pay off. Well, I hope you're not hand painting a lot. I would only recommending, like, if you're gonna do painting, I would only recommend painting out things. Yay. Really? That's what thickness looks like? It did not look like that earlier. Okay, maps are done. This is my material. Looking pretty cool. I'm only in 2K mode so far here still, so bear that in mind. I'm gonna save this thing.